Hey Alvin, how are you? Just waiting for a few people to come in. If they're this was just an impromptu, so we're gonna wait and see if a few people show up here and talk about a couple of things. Hope you're having a good day. I've got some nice music playing in the background. I'm gonna be on mute for the next couple of minutes, and I hope to see some people show up. Thanks for coming, Alvin. I'll be right back. Hi guys. Hi Kimber, Gary, Essall, Callaway. Hi, Rocky. Love you, Rocky. It's very nice to see you guys. I'll be getting started here in just a couple of minutes. Thank you all for showing up without any kind of a warning or notification. Hi, Sean. Yes, I see everybody's happy to see Rocky. Haven't seen Rocky in a little bit. He's been real busy. Hi, Robin. Little Rascal. Okay, you guys. So I am here this evening after a really crappy day. And I know that's not usual for me um, to come online for any kind of a personal reason. But this time, I'm doing that. And the reason that I'm doing that is because I would imagine that I am not alone in terms of some of the, well, I would say low level depression that is going on across the nation right now. And what I have figured out is that everyone responds differently to the amount of pressure that the country is under, and many of the countries are under currently. Um, and the title to this, I actually had just heard on a news broadcast that was playing as I walked by, and it just appropriately really fits. Um, the title to this video is The Deeper You Care, or the more you care, the deeper you despair. And boy, is that true over here. I have to stop and ask myself every once in a while, what is going on with you? You're not like a person that normally gets depressed or, bothered by anything too much, other than, of course, scammers and con artists drive me crazy, as you guys know. But even in the face of a lot of ugly comments and threats and stuff like that, you don't see me bend too much. Right is right, wrong is wrong, and I kind of just go with that, and I know what I'm doing is for the right reason, so I don't stop. But lately, it's been getting harder and harder, and I know I told you guys about this, a couple of months ago when I was starting to feel the struggle. That every once in a while, it seems like I get bombarded by trolls. Not coming in just willy-nilly like normal, but really like there's some kind of high-level troll attack going on. And I wouldn't doubt if that's the case. I've been hitting on some things that a lot of people don't want to hear. Um, Everything seems to be politicized right now. We're so close to this new election that I think that that's causing some of this. We have so much strife going on in the country from a racial standpoint, from a law enforcement standpoint, from a just the illness scenario. Rocky, I'm glad to hear that the title brought you here tonight. For those of you that don't know, I have kind of a long working history. Um, one of those, one of the education slides I went down, we'll call it, was psychology. I have an innate need. It's like it just kind of is one of those things that I cannot stop learning. It drives me crazy. I start to question everything if I stop researching and stop learning new things. And I needed to know why people act in ways that they do. And we're seeing, or I'm seeing rather, all of those different ways play out right now, all at the same time. For me, it tends to be a feeling of, if I feel helpless, I begin to feel depressed. And there's a lot of police officers out there right now that feel helpless. So I would imagine that is something that is going on across the board. There are also a lot of people out there that don't have the same amount of empathy as a lot of us do. So the more you care, the deeper you despair is definitely true. When you watch a lot of people online being particularly nasty at a critical time like this, the keyboard warriors, we'll call them, just to be nice about it, you start to really notice, which is even more disturbing, that there are a lot of not only mentally ill people out there, but people who honestly just don't care. My purpose for being on here tonight is really to talk to you guys that I know have empathy and might be sharing in some of the feelings that I'm describing here. Let's see. Liz says the thing to always keep in mind, Virgo, is that there's nothing wrong with you. There's something wrong with them, and they're responding because they're afraid of you. And you know, Liz, here's the funny thing. Under normal circumstances, and I know that there are several people in this room right now, you and Rocky, Gary being three of them that I can point out right this minute that have been subscribed to me for a long time. And you know, ordinarily, that I can let it lie. As a matter of fact, quite often I will actually just pop their comment up and run a crazy comments, and we'll sit around and laugh at those comments. I think that there's a part of me right now that feels like there are times that I have maybe too much empathy for others. And I don't understand, even though I really do, I really do understand it. I just don't really want to accept it. That there are people that are just opportunistic, narcissistic, and quite frankly, sociopathic a lot of times, that are honestly just out to harm people, to do as much damage as possible. And those people are thriving in this crisis right now. Hi, BC. Of course you can. I'm going to go ahead and put the link in if anyone wants to actually pop into the studio and talk about some of these things. Keep in mind, guys, this is not about depressing anyone or being depressing to anyone. What I'd like to do is have some form of discussion where we all are able to see common ground. Common ground tends to be very important when we're dealing with things like seeing a massive amount of people that seem to have no feelings whatsoever, and seeing a massive amount of mentally ill people, seeing all of the strife and the pain that is going on across the country from family members being lost and people becoming ill. We have a member of the watchdog community right now, Bagel Brian. We have a member, a really, quite frankly, a important member, very important. Not that everybody's not important, but this is someone who contributes on a regular basis with research and all kinds of stuff. Wonder Woman, who is currently in the hospital with an ear infection that is so bad that she has a ravaging fever of over 104, and they're having to keep her in an area where they can watch her very closely. Callaway, I don't know what you mean. We're not doing political. I don't ever do anything political. So the thought that we have one of our own so seriously ill right now is another thing that is upsetting. But it's honestly an overall picture that I've been seeing for the last couple of months really ramp up to, my goodness, there are really some very upsetting, not only things going on, but individuals that seem to be taking advantage of it. So really what this is about, oh, Callaway, okay, I'm sorry, I misunderstood you, is just trying to find common ground amongst all of us that do see eye to eye in terms of caring for others and wanting things to get better and might be feeling somewhat hopeless. Because hopelessness is the one thing the watchdog community never can do. But you can begin to feel that way when you get attacked or when you don't feel like what you've got available is quite putting out the right message to people. I got a nasty comment today where somebody actually claimed that everything that I did was fake. It's all about supposedly ad revenue, which is actually really funny considering that ad revenue could not probably pay my electric bill still after 4 years. So that's actually really funny. But it isn't funny when you work as hard as I do at this channel and you start seeing consistent comments like that. And I know what Liz said is true, but when I begin to get down in the dumps, I reach out to you guys who support me. And in this venue being live, I know that we can reach out to one another across the board. Now, I know I mentioned the scenario with Wonder Woman, which I, by the way, did not get her permission to do. So I might have reached out a little far there, but I do want for you to be aware that for anybody who wants to send her well wishes or anything of that sort, you are welcome to email me. I can make sure those move on to her. I'm sure they would make her feel much better. If anybody wants to send anything or do anything, I can provide you with a P.O. box to do that. I'll collect everything and send it all to her at once. If there's anything at all that you guys would like to do with regards to that Virgo Triad at protonmail.com. Wonder Woman and I do not always see eye to eye on everything, but she's a wonderful person, and she has been there for the entire watchdog community. She is invaluable with regards to certain types of research, and I care about her deeply, as I know many of you do. So please feel free to email me if there's anything that you would like to do. And if not, just sending her an actual email, and I won't give out her email address, but I will forward them on to her, I'm sure would make her feel much better, because she is 100% stuck in the hospital right now. She cannot leave. She's very sick. She can't hear out of one ear. They've had to put a wick inside of her ear in order to even get topical medication down it. It's quite serious, and she's got a very high temperature. So I'm checking on her, making sure she's okay. I have not heard from her yet today, but I will keep you guys abreast on what's going on. I know I'm missing lots and lots of messages here. Positive thoughts. Okay, wait a minute. Mystic Mountain, able to make it tonight? Oh, I know. And I don't know. This is not the nicest subject in the world. I mean, obviously, it's terrible about Wonder Woman, but what I originally got on here to talk about is really just not meant for the purpose of making people sad, but more for the purpose of bringing all of us together so that we can maybe get some things out in the open and get it off our chests in a safe environment should we need to do that. Let's see. Miss Tara, positive. Yep. Okay. Rocky, I feel so bad because I've stepped back to try to cope and I've let myself lose track of you wonderful people. Rocky, you do what you need to do, sweetheart. Okay. We are always here for you. And please, this is the first announcement that I've made about Wonder Woman. Like I said, I did it without her permission. So I really seriously hope she doesn't get irritated with me, but she's a big part of this community. You guys needed to know, so I will take the heat for that if she does. And so you didn't miss anything, Rocky, because I didn't make the announcement until tonight. This is her second or third day in the hospital here. Kimber, yeah, I do a lot of research, a tremendous amount of research, actually, these cases and all of the back history on the Sovsits and everything. So yeah, I do a lot of research, but that's my own thing that I enjoy doing it. So, I'm not complaining by any means. I'm just saying that for the amount of work that's been put into this channel, after 4 years, you would hope you'd be able to pay your electric bill with the ad revenue. It's more of a funny thing than anything else. Somehow these trolls believe or try to make you believe that they think you're making all this slew of money when you're lucky to come out of it with $150 a month if you're having a good month. Okay, Liz says you should endorse Oreos on your channel, Virgo. I bet you'd get a big check. Probably. You're funny. Oh my gosh. I hadn't heard. Yeah. Oh, look at Liz doing her little cheer. That's very sweet. Rocky, if you want to send an email to Wonder Woman, please feel free to send it to me at my Proton Mail address. It's virgotriad@protonmail.com. And I will make sure she gets it. And no, you're right, BC. Nobody does see eye to eye all the time. Not even us on the channel in the comments section see eye to eye all the time. But you know what we do have? We have common ground in the sensibility to know that we're both good people. And therefore, sometimes you have to just agree to disagree because there's generally validity in both sides of the argument. So we have that in spades. I Art Laughing and I got into it a couple of videos ago, as a matter of fact. But you know what? It didn't matter because the very next day we were laughing together. And that's the whole point. I'll mention this even though I'm not going to go any further with it. Political discourse is extremely important for that reason, you guys. When you stop cutting off the other side and claiming that they're evil, no matter what side you're on, you are losing out big time, and democracy will die that way. All right. Just arrived. Wonder Woman is ill. I sincerely hope it's very We do too, PJ, but I don't know. She's been in for 3 days now. It's extremely serious. She's running over 104th fever. They're having trouble keeping it down. And I have not heard from her today, so I'm kind of concerned. But I will be checking on her first thing in the morning. And I'm just hoping that she's just been resting and sleeping, but she's in the best possible care right now. Liz. Rocky Liz has a message for you here. Okay, Mystic Mountain says, I had to go into my healing cave for nearly 2 years due to an all-out onslaught on our group, business, and myself. One of those Sovsit groups out there. Yes. Let me talk to you just a minute, you guys, about Mystic Mountain. Mystic Mountain and I have known one another for a couple of years now, and we've been exchanging a lot of pertinent information with regards to the different Sovsit groups. Mystic Mountain is also a part of Team Bubba, who exposed Kim Goygan and her little friend Tank there from the Mana World Holding Trust debacle. I know many of you have seen it on my shared page, and Mystic Mountain is one of those individuals. She has a website of her own. Mystic Mountain, if you will put your website up so that if people want to visit it in the comment section, that would be great. Again, we don't always see eye to eye on every single subject, but we work together in harmony because we both agree that people need to be able to surf the web without being inundated with scam artists and con artists. She's done some excellent work with some other really excellent people that really, really care about others. So a very special person we have joining us tonight. And thank you for coming, Mystic Mountain. We will be holding space for Wonder Woman. Let us know if we can be of any further assistance. Thank you so much. I know you guys are putting in comments and I'm missing some of them here. Virgo, your channel is where I come for facts. Thanks for all you do. Thank you, Kimber. I really appreciate all you guys' support. Bless cancel culture youth. It can be a mess. Yes, everything is a mess right now. Everything is a mess. And I think it would be a lot less of a mess if we could learn to look at one another like Americans again. But again, not going political here. Oh, wow. Did I mess that up? Sometimes I get to read in the comments. I'm reading other people's comments to one another. Okay, Sunny, some people have posted horrible things about my deceased husband because he was a policeman. I know, Sunny. I know. And I wish there was a way. I cannot possibly say enough to comfort someone in your scenario or to comfort someone in Rocky's scenario. And I hate that. That's another one of those things where I feel helpless in. No matter how much documentation I have put together, you guys, this is between me and you, okay? The 30 whatever of us and me. I've put together 4 mini docs. And all 4 mini docs are of police officers that have saved babies' lives, police officers that have run into burning buildings to save people before the fire department got there or with the fire department, police officers that have saved people from jumping off of bridges, police officers that have saved people from choking while they were in the car driving at a stoplight. The amount of good that our police, that our law enforcement on a general basis far outweighs any of the ugliness by huge milestones, okay? But there's just no way to properly convey it right now in my eyes. There's no way that I can do them service by putting these videos up because these videos are already out there. People already know about these videos. It won't be until we calm down as a country collectively that people will look back and in retrospect be able to see the massive reaction that created harm to come to a lot of those individuals that have never been guilty of anything involving racism or assaulting anyone or doing their job less than spectacularly. So to sum it up for you specifically, Sunny and Rocky, I'm sorry, but I know that I have failed you both in that venue because there just is nothing that I can say that's going to make up for it. And there isn't a way for me to bring more awareness to ears that are totally closed. And I think that that's going to stop quickly. I do. It's going to have to play itself out. I don't think it will play itself out any earlier than the beginning of the year, but I think that's pretty quick in comparison to what we saw just a month ago. There is not the majority of the nation that dislikes policemen. That just isn't true. There just happens to be a particular portion of the population who is speaking up for decades of a few bad apples. And that, it tends to take a toll on everybody that's involved. But I have faith in people overall. And I really honestly think that this will come to an end. We know for sure, though, that your husband, Sonny, and you, Rocky, are wonderful people. I know that for a fact. So we will be here to support you regardless, no matter what, at any point. All right, Pronoun says, I'm sorry, Virgo, I've not been in touch, but us mermaids still love you and the watchdogs. Well, we love you too, Pronoun, and that includes Maisie, Lil Man, and Morgana. And we have missed you, but we are so glad you are back. Victor. Oh, you didn't finish there. Hi, Victor. We all just have to get along. Yeah. We really do, and we used to get along better. And I do believe that when things are not quite so divisive, things will start to look a little more bright for people. Watchdog rules. Well, Gary, watchdog rules pretty much involve not talking politics or religion, not being rude to one another, not attacking one another. And of course, when Chuck's here, Virgo's always right. Don't forget that rule. It's only when Chuck's here, though. Sunny, I know. Sunny says her condition can be life-threatening, and that is true. But we are not going to think that way. Sunny, I believe, was a nurse for a long time, so she automatically goes to the clinical stage of it, and I understand that completely. I am very worried, Sunny, but I am trying really hard not to go that direction because she just lost her mother a month ago. She just lost her job a month ago, and this is something that she does not need right now. I'm a very, very long way away from her. Well over 1,500 miles. So all I can do is continue to call and check, but I will definitely update you guys. Kimball. Let's see. I lost you. Kimball, where are you? And they still get so little respect, it makes me sick. I'm assuming you're speaking of the police officers. Correct me if I'm wrong. The problem is you don't know who the bad cops are until they violate your rights, and then the system is set up to protect them. Liz, I understand exactly what you're saying, and I know. It's the system that has failed in reality. Overall, the system needs to be set up differently. Unfortunately, the biggest problem that's going on from a personal standpoint that I see is that there are those that have never been guilty of any of the things that are going around right now, and they're paying for it anyway. And it's scary and disturbing. And it's something that is unfair. There's no justice in that at all. So yes, it's the system that needs changing, in whatever venue that needs to be done, in order to ensure that there is better vetting. So I do agree with that. Victor says people are idiots. First responders are to be praised and honored. And under normal circumstances, 100% I agree with that. Liz has a point, though. We have had a few bad apples that are not ones that anyone would want involved in a first responders unit. You have not failed at all, Virgo. You've helped me personally more than you'll ever know. You're very sweet, Rocky. I tend to take on things with big chunks. Let's say I bite off more than I can chew at times. In this scenario, however, I have not been as big of an advocate as I would have liked to have been because I just didn't feel that I could get there. Ears have been closed for a while now, and we thought the ears were closed badly when it came to the Sovsits and the Moors and the fake accounts, and we thought they were closed then. This has been a huge endeavor to try to wade through and to be fair and as impartial as possible about, because I have so many first responders that I care about and love, including Rocky here. So it's a very difficult personal thing for me. But like I said, I think it's going to come out the other side and be okay. It goes in cycles. It will calm down. Yes, I agree, Calloway. I think you're right about that. Otherwise, Jane Fonda would have been shot years ago. Oh, that was a good one there. I liked that one. So BC's first name is Brian. I'm sorry for exposing you there, but I've known him for a while. And that is is that a fish in that picture? Trying to figure out what he's carrying in this tiny little picture here. I am sorry to say it, but the mainstream news they've lost their minds. In just the last month, I have picked apart all three of the major networks to see what was happening now versus the same time last year when I did it. And I've picked them apart like crazy the last month and have found so much BS in both sides of the political aisle in terms of the, mainstream media news outlets on cable news. But even in the local news, I'm starting to see it some. I mean, things you can literally fact check, you guys. Things you can just pick up your phone and literally fact check this stuff. It's really disheartening, really disheartening. And like I said, I think a lot of times this does happen. I know it did in 2015 and 16, right before a new election. It does occur. And then it weans off and you don't catch them in as much BS. This time around is really important. With the illness going on, which I have fact-checked to death, they do seem to be somewhat resistant in saying certain things, but they're at least reporting that it's real. We've seen some people from the Virgo Triad channel that have had it, have been on ventilators. One that has passed away. It's real. It's scary. And if anybody on here doesn't think it's real, you're on the wrong channel, because I am not going to lie to you. It's real. It's extremely scary. And it needs to be respected, if you understand what I mean. But yeah, Brian, you're right. I don't think they want it to calm down. And that is a huge problem. That is a huge problem. Thank you so much to the person who just did a super chat. But unfortunately, I can't read who it was for some reason. I'll find it, though. Okay, Gary. Where are you, Gary? I lost you. Nope, you were just laughing. Okay. Sean's got a point here. When in doubt, blame Chuck. For those of you that don't know about this, let me say this real quick. We have a new channel, Rocky. Listen up. This is important. It's called the Odd Couple channel. It is Chuck and I every other Friday, and it is strictly for fun. It is not monetized. We don't have super chats. It is for the purpose of just having fun. So it's the Odd Couple. It's the Odd Couple with Chuck and Virgo. That is the name of the channel. We've already done our first broadcast last Friday. We will have another one next Friday. And you guys will be notified if you are subscribed. But head on over there and subscribe. If not, if anybody needs the actual channel address, let me know and I'll look it up for you. So, yes, you can see me harass the heck out of Chuck every other Friday from this point forward. Oh. Okay. Oh, Infidel, thank you so much. Oh, you're at work right now. Oh, I'm glad you're listening, though. Caught it out of Monterey. Wow, that is a big fish. Congratulations on that sucker. So Kimber says it looks like an Alaskan salmon. I have to agree. It just giant. Okay. Hi, Randy. So glad you were able to come in and say hello. So Pedro says idle hands are not the devil's only playground. Lazy thinkers are worse. I think that might be actually true. Um, I don't know how many of you actually saw the video that I put up yesterday or it was late last night on the Moor that's out yelling at the police officers that are on a traffic stop simply because of an equipment failure, I believe. But if you haven't seen it, it's on my channel as the last upload. It is really funny, and that might be something that can show you what an actual lazy thinker is, because man, this one is something else. Oh yeah, Chuck is wonderful, and we have some pretty good chemistry, so we are able to pick on one another and make it funny. And we have a great friendship outside of what we do on YouTube. So Chuck is wonderful, and I love working with him. We decided to make our own channel because we felt like the Watchdog group needed some levity. Yes, what Chuck does is funny on his channel, and sometimes I will pop up something that's funny. But you guys wouldn't believe how badly the Watchdogs actually get attacked behind the scenes, or maybe some of you might. It can be pretty hard to take at times. So we try to make things as pleasurable and funny as possible, and this was just another way to do that. Oh, good, Randy. I'm glad you've been getting notifications again. That was just upsetting there for a while. It seemed like nobody was getting them. That's why I'm less on Facebook and the news, because it's so toxic and us mermaids hate it. Sorry, I stopped with the puns. Oh, I'll leave that up for everybody to read, Sunny, real quick. Okay, so one of the things that I found out today, I was researching some things that have been going on in the ocean. And I found out that one of my spouse's favorite foods, being mussels, they're not going to be safe to eat anymore. This is something that really blew my mind. There is so much plastic in the bottom of the ocean that now the ocean is starting to acidify. And because of certain places having that happen, they have been testing these mussels, and they're coming out with a huge percentage of plastic, which, of course, if you eat them, then you're eating that plastic. Really terrifying stuff. And I stopped watching it after that. But I thought I'd let everybody know to be very cautious about mussels, because there seems to be a huge amount of plastics in the mussels for some reason. Why it's in the mussels and not other, or more so than other things, I don't know. I looked up what we normally consume in the way of nanoplastic or plastic particles when we eat seafood under normal circumstances. And I was told that, or I found that we consume about a plastic credit card every week in things that we eat, because we eat fish sauce and things we don't really know about. And if you go out to a restaurant or whatever, you're not sure what they're cooking with all the time. So about the average American eats about a credit card of plastic a week as it stands. But of course, we always wonder, where is cancer coming from? Why is it so prevalent in this country? Why are so many people coming down with these weird illnesses? Maybe it might have something to do with consuming plastic. Not funny at all. Okay. Can we shake down Devon, or do we need to behave? Oh boy, I don't even really know what to say about Devon. The two things that I've noticed about him the most over the last few weeks is, number one, he's lost an exorbitant amount of weight, and appears to be just almost emaciated. That is the motherly side coming out of just being concerned about another human being. However, on the other hand, the thinner he gets, the more toxic he seems to become. And as you guys know, Devon has a particular liking to making terrible, nasty claims about the watchdog channels. He's getting worse as time goes on. So I'll just say that. Devon has been insane lately, attacking all the watchdogs. Yes, he has. And he will continue to do so, as you will find him attacking other individuals who have become successful in any way, whether it be at a YouTube channel, as a musical artist, anyone that he happens to be envious of in any way, you will find him trying to gaslight. All right, who said that about the oysters? Oh, razor clams. Yeah. Now, as far as the oysters, I didn't stay there long enough to watch the thing about the oysters. But I do know that that's also something that they were mentioning. So I don't know what the percentage is. But with the mussels, Randy, it was something like, oh my gosh, like almost 80% of them. Like, not 80% of the mussels, 80% of the interior of the mussel that you eat. Terrible. Razor clams have been needing a warning for a few years. Yeah, I bet. See, I think we're going to find that it's anything that is like a bottom feeder. It's really bad, you guys. It's really bad. And there are places that they are showing that are literally like plastic soup. It's just disgusting. Not a good thing at all. Okay. Sorry, you guys. My chat stopped for a second. Let's see. Check out Rise of the Moors. Jamal is on a rampage with his court coming soon. You know what, Airborne? I actually got your message on that. And I am in the process of watching that video. I had to stop it a third of the way through. And so I haven't finished it yet. But every time that there's a court hearing that comes up, you're right. We do start seeing him bringing out weapons, and, we see the vests, and he's talking about how much ammo he's got. And it's quite concerning. It's very concerning. There we go. Yeah, he's comedy, all right. Just not the comedy most of us would like to watch. And that's why he has trouble growing his channel. I hear him talk about all the time that, I'm doing all this research and da-da-da-da-da, and I don't understand. Why am I not getting the views? But you're not doing research. What you're doing is you're picking up an article that generally is some form of conspiracy site. You're reading it because you think it's outlandish enough for you to put a eye-catcher clickbait type of ad on, and then you are assuming that you should get 10,000 views out of it. The truth is you really can't read very well, honey, so you really kind of need to stop that. Just paraphrase after you've read it to yourself would be better. And real research actually involves defining whether or not what you're reading on this conspiracy website is even a possibility, or whether you're just going along with the crowd because you think it'll get you views. I mean, from what I can tell, it actually appears to me that what he does is he takes as much information from a particularly large group, as he can possibly get. So if it's part of the Sovsit group, part of the Moorish group, part of the Q group, because he figures then those followers will follow him. But it hasn't worked because even in the most extreme of those individuals, he's extreme. And he's not, when you're listening to him, he's not, his stories are not cohesive. His context is all off white. It's just maybe not his thing, you know. If he would have stuck to the music, would have been much better. But attacking for the purpose of trying to gain views and you know, then getting to a point where you finally get monetized, but then getting yourself demonetized because you can't control your ego, and you get angry with people that you're envious of, is really just a sad circle of I mean, I don't know what else to say, but that's what I've noticed. Health-wise, though, I am a bit concerned for him. Pauline is cranking out more bizarre videos, too. Yes, she is, isn't she? So they threw her out of the original Mac, and she's doubled down and gone absolutely just bonkers. She's trying to gain her own, but the thing is that I've noticed she's losing subscribers. Swindle Hoodwinked is the one who goes on and does all of the recordings of her fake court. He says that there is less than half of the people that there used to be. And, you know, I'm afraid she's losing her donations. So she's starting to get more outlandish. It worked before. You know, the more bizarre, the more people she had showing up. But it doesn't seem to be working as well this time. She needs to try another con, I guess. As much as I love seafood, I eat it maybe 3 times a year. Yeah, and I mean, I thought the same thing until I started hearing them talk about, do you know how many steak sauces and how many ketchups and how many this and that they use fish sauce in, and oyster sauce and fried rice and all this other stuff? Then you start to realize, wait a minute, I'm consuming more of it than I realize. Oh, thank you, Vilified Freedom. Very kind of you, my dear. How are you? I hope you are doing well. I hope you got my message from earlier. Let's see. Where are we at here on the chat? It is very real. I don't understand why all the verbal threats he has taken aim at the president. It's a wonder he's not in jail already. I agree with you that it is an absolute wonder he is not in jail already. He's been visited by the FBI. And I think they honestly feel, which I feel too, that he is mentally deficient in some way. And that probably the best they would be able to do with him would be to put him on a 72-hour psychiatric hold. You know? But I mean, the truth is that he's been in trouble before. And he's got a record. I believe that he is competent enough to understand what he's doing is wrong. So I agree. I think that they should do something, you know, and I've even considered legally, civically filing a tort against him for slander. What will happen with that will be nothing, and then it will have to be turned into YouTube, and then it will be YouTube's problem. As an attorney is saying, hey, look, this is slander, it's on your platform, for them to have to take him down. Now, I have not completed that as of yet. But if he continues on the route that he is, I just don't see any other avenue. Mainly because he's starting to connect really ugly stuff with the Watchdog group. And that we can't have. We're a stand-up group of individuals, channels that have worked very hard to try to keep people informed and stand on the side of right. And we're not going to have nasty individuals and offenders stuck to our names. So that's where I'm getting to the point where I have no other option. And that would be for everyone. Devon is not particularly charismatic. No, he's not. That's another problem. And very much less charismatic when he gets going on his rants. Nobody wants to listen to that. They don't identify with, nor really particularly care about what his trials and tribulations are. And he goes on for hours and hours. I at one point saw a 9-hour stream of this guy going on and on. And I think he had to have said Degeneration Nation and Van the Man probably 900 times. It's just an unbelievable amount of BS. And he gets stuck on it, and almost like an autistic child cannot stop it. He just continues to go and go for hours. And I also think that it might have something to do with whatever he's medicating himself with, if you know what I mean. So Sonny says, I need to protect Chuck while he isn't here. Why? Who's trying to do something to Chuck? No, we love Chuck. We love Chuck. Chuck is a good boy. Let's see. Barbecue says he goes to the library and solicits people to sub. Are you serious? Huh. I mean, that's not necessarily a bad thing. That's probably more work than I thought he was doing, if you can call it work. Because like I said, it's not that difficult to go online, pull an article from a conspiracy page and read it. It's not, I mean, when I have to do the updates from the Federal Trade Commission, it's not hard. I'm not going to claim that it's hard. The real research, the Snoop for Truths, the histories of the Sovsits one by one, the going through and explaining all the information about how the automated clearinghouse and the banking system works. All of that was hard. That was research and a lot of video editing and stuff. But reading an article is not hard. Okay. I suppose he couldn't afford 1,000. Devon is the Gollum of the Sovsit community. Yeah. If he lives in New York, it's almost impossible to get a gun permit there. He claims he has weapons. I don't know if he really has weapons. I don't care if he really has weapons. I mean, the truth is, one of the reasons I think I look at him and I say, my gosh, he's looking emaciated and I'm slightly concerned about him is because he's a little boy to me. He really is. And his mentality is very little boyish. And I'm not saying that because I feel sorry for him, because in a way, even though he's got some issues going on, I know he knows what he's doing. But he's so juvenile he's got such a juvenile mindset that I can't really look at him in any other way. I can't take him seriously. He certainly doesn't act like a man. Thank you, Vilified Freedom. That's very kind of you. And I'm glad you got it. I just wanted to make sure in case you needed to know. I report Bevan every time he starts accusing Watchdog. Yes. And see this right here, you guys, what Pedro is saying that I'm not going to say out loud on my channel. This is what he is accusing specific watchdogs of that we cannot tolerate. This would be the reason why it would have to move forward with an attorney, and it would have to be straight to YouTube. And believe me, they pay attention when the law gets involved like this, because slander is something that can do a lot of damage to anyone who's an activist of any sort, whether they deserve it or not. So, and that's what the Watchdog group is. We activate for, we are advocates for what's right, for factual information, and we expose those that are trying to con and scam others. And the last thing that we want is to be associated with some junk like this. So, of course, it's important for us to, you have to protect what you've worked hard on. And we have all worked really hard on our channels. He can't afford ammo, so that's what he's going to do. Hit people with it. He is a cowardly. Yeah. I agree with you, Brian. I think we've got a scenario where we've got somebody who's very, very, very angry, and maybe angry from the point of being a child, even because he seems to have brought that juvenile child mindset with him. And yeah, anybody who can go on for 9 hours, 6 hours, 3 hours, about the same people who are not hitting back. We're not hitting back. We're just like, okay. And never put it down. Just keep going. Has something going on upstairs, you know. Let's see. What is this? That's cute. Everybody read what's on the screen right now. That's funny. Sorry, vilified. I mean, that's funny though. Right, exactly. Like a temper tantrum. Like a 2-year-old having a temper tantrum. And I'm not saying that just to be like insulting. I'm saying that because it honestly is what it appears as. I understand that there's not everybody can read really well or really fast. I understand that people have learning disabilities and are dyslexic. I understand those things, so I'm sensitive to those things. I have a problem with pronunciation at times, as you guys know. I call myself the mispronunciation girl because I'm always mispronouncing something. As a result of that, I can stub myself up in the middle of an article like nobody's business, and I just have to laugh at it because it happens to be a learning issue. But under normal circumstances, I can read through an article pretty rapidly and decently. But when it's every other word, reading's maybe not your thing on camera, But to try to talk to him about any of this, you can forget it. He'll just block you and act like you're against everything you do. I told him at one point to pick up with his music stuff because that is something he really enjoyed. And, it was obvious that he was starting to try to get somewhere with that. Just get off of all of the junk and go back to your roots, which is the music. And that's what you love. Oh my gosh. The things he said about my mother, who's not even around anymore, were unbelievable. All because I tried to speak to him. Thank you so much, Rocky. Oh, I'm so sorry that you're out of time, but thank you for showing up this evening. I'm getting ready to close this out anyway. Love you so much, and please be safe out there. Be safe out there, and we'll see you again real soon. Hopefully Friday, not this Friday, but next Friday, you can join us, Chuck and I, with the Odd Couple with Chuck and Virgo. Be careful, Rocky, out there. I mean it. All right. So I want to tell everybody thank you so much for. Hi, Emma. Emma Willard, ladies and gentlemen. Emma has been a part of the Virgo Triad channel for 4 years now. And she's done some amazing research. She's also an attorney and has done some wonderful, teaching me some things that I needed to know in order to ensure that all of my factual information was solid. So everybody please say hi to Emma. We don't see her very often anymore. She's a wonderful person. So I'm sorry that you came in at the end, Emma. But unfortunately, I'm having to close this out. I've been on for about an hour, and this was just kind of an impromptu live stream. I want to make sure that you guys know that even though you will hear me from time to time, and this is going back to the reason why I started this live stream, even though you will hear me from time to time get weary, maybe even get sad or somewhat depressed, and sometimes need a break because of all of the crap that comes my direction from running this channel, it's you guys that keep me going ultimately. And it is you guys that I ultimately always reach out to when I'm feeling this way, because like when I first got on here, an hour later, I have a smile on my face, and that is because of all of you. I hope that coming together this evening and being able to say hi to people like Rocky and Sunny and Emma and Liz and Brian, who are always smiling and upbeat, and even when they're feeling down, friendly and empathetic to others. I hope that you will take that with you, and that it has helped to make you smile this evening too. Please know that if you do get particularly down, or you need someone to talk to at any point in time, my comment section is a good one to go to. Chuck's comment section is a good one to go to. Worst comes to worst and you really need a friend, Virgo Triad at protonmail.com. I love all of you. Have a wonderful evening. I will not be on tomorrow, but I will be back on Monday. And remember, next week is The Odd Couple with Chuck and Virgo on the Odd Couple with Chuck and Virgo channel. And we'll be having nothing but fun over there. Emma, you got to make sure that you subscribe to this, because you've not seen anything until you've seen Chuck and I do our comedy acts together. Liz says, I love you, Virgo, more than the Umbrella Academy. You're so sweet. Thank you, Karen. No problem. It's no problem, Karen. Watch it on the replay. This was just kind of an impromptu thing. Love you, Brenda. And good night, Brian. Bagel to you. Love you, Rocky. Love you, Emma. And everybody have a wonderful evening. Remember, if you need to email with regards to Wonder Woman, if you want to email her a message, please send it virgotriad@protonmail.com. I'll be more than happy to forward those on to her. Virgo, choose to carry a huge load. I hope we help it to be more bearable. You sure do, Pedro. You guys really do. If it were not for you guys, I would not still be doing this. And Emma is the one who can attest to that. Love you all. Have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.